In today's lesson, you're going to learn how to become a more advanced speaker of English. Hello and welcome to another video. My name's Alex. Remember to subscribe and click the bell icon so you don't miss any of our lessons on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Now today we're going to talk about a common problem that students have in that they reach an intermediate level but they don't progress any further. So we're going to look at some ways that you can go from pre-intermediate, intermediate to become an advanced speaker and an advanced student of English. Part of the problem is that you have to change the way that you learn and the things you do to learn. You can't reach an advanced level just by doing the same old grammar exercises. So let's look at 5 ways that you can become an advanced speaker of English.
Okay, so let's have a look at the tips. Tip number 1 is expose yourself to language. This is really essential if you want to become an advanced speaker of English, and you need to expose yourself to the right type of language. So ideally it should be at a native level or near enough, and you should do it as often as possible. So the advice is to surround yourself in English. Read, listen, watch TV, watch YouTube of course, join Facebook groups. There's lots of things out there that you can do. You should really read, listen and watch things that you find interesting, because then it becomes less of a chore, it becomes less hard work, and you'll actually start to enjoy listening to things in English. There's lots of things out there, newspapers, videos, many things you can do. Tip 2 is build your vocabulary. Vocabulary becomes much more important when you're moving from intermediate to advanced. Before going to intermediate, it's about the building blocks of the language, a lot of the simple grammar, but at this stage you should really be looking to build your vocabulary as well as you can. One idea is to organize your vocabulary in themes and groups. So you could have themes like education or technology and have a vocabulary notebook. Keep your vocabulary in there in the themes, and that's a good way to try to remember these things. English has a lot of vocabulary, so there's a lot of things for you to learn. Talking about vocabulary again, and the next piece of advice is to learn chunks. So by chunks, I'm thinking about larger pieces of language, words that often go together. So examples we have here are collocations, set phrases, phrasal verbs, and idiomatic expressions. If we take an example like a word disadvantage, then you could learn that word on its own, or you could learn the phrase to be at a disadvantage, which is going to be more useful as you become more advanced. Moving on to tip 4, and we're thinking about dictionaries. A lot of people like to use translators these days or bilingual dictionaries, but it's really important as you become more advanced to use a monolingual dictionary, and a good one. There's lots of really good advanced learners dictionaries out there, and also advanced learner dictionary websites that you can use as well. You get so much more information in a monolingual dictionary in terms of collocations and phrases and the type of word and pronunciation, and because you have to work that a little bit harder, you're more likely to remember the word or the phrase or the chunk. Tip number 5 is to speak like a native, which is maybe not as easy as it sounds, but what I mean by this is to use contractions and weak forms. So this will make you sound more natural and like an advanced speaker. even if you aren't one yet. If we look at an example sentence, the difference between I have been to Paris and I've been to Paris. So you've got the contracted have and the weak form of been. I've been to Paris, which sounds much more fluent than I have been to Paris. So there we have it. Those are our 5 top tips to become an advanced speaker of English. 1. Expose yourself to language. Build vocabulary and topics. Learn chunks, not individual words. Vocabulary is so important. Use a monolingual dictionary. And use contractions and weak forms whenever you can.
What do you think? Let us know in the comments below. I'd also like to hear if you have any other ideas, other than the things I just mentioned, that you can use to practice your English and bridge that gap between being intermediate and advanced. Remember to follow us on social media. We have Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest and Instagram. See you next week.